together to plan or co-teach if that needed to happen? How open are you to peer collaboration?
I am very open because what I may be doing or another teacher might be doing may help me. I'm always open to see like new ideas because the way I might be teaching my class, they may not get the way she teaches her class, and I take what she's telling me to do, it might work for them. It's all about having an open mindset because every kid learns differently.
Mhm.
And you have to find what works for that kid and your kids as a whole.
Excellent. I love that answer because what we do like as administrators to see on our campus, because we were able to segment our kindergarten, most kindergarten classes are traditionally taught, I can't think of the word. What all together, like why am I not the word all together? But we are able to have one math teacher. Our kids rotate. It's not all in one class, like a pre-K classroom where we teach all content. So I like your response because they leave the math class, they leave their science teacher or their SOY teacher, they come to you, and it's the same level of consistency and rigor across the board. So great response. All right, scenario number 2. Imagine you were teaching a small group lesson on blending sounds and several students are off task. One refuses to participate, another blurts answers, and the group loses focus. How do you redirect behavior while maintaining the integrity of the group? You can come in. Oh, okay. Go ahead and answer that question. I'm listening. So we'll repeat it? All right, so the second scenario is now you are teaching a small group lesson on blending sounds. Several students are off task. One is refusing to participate, another keeps blurting out answers, and the whole group loses focus. How do you redirect the behavior while maintaining the integrity of the lesson?
What I do is I say, oh, I love the way such and such is sitting, or I love the way this student is sitting, and I love the way this student is sitting, and that's how I feel I will grasp their attention in order to bring back the class all together. Or I'll say, I'll make like a sing a song, go, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. So once I'm doing that and I feel like once I get everybody back as one together, then once I get everybody back focused together and come together as one, and I'll then say, I need all my friends to see crisscross applesauce hands in your lap and all eyes on this call. We have to pay attention, and then I'll go right back into the lesson.
Yes, I love that you use positive reinforcement to self-direct and help other kids self-direct without saying, excuse me. You're saying you compliment somebody else, the other kid looks, and now they want to be complimented too. I love the positive reinforcement. So let's talk about scenario 3. So now we're going to get into what all of our teachers love so much, what NES is known for, is our spot observations. So let's talk about that. Okay, let's talk about feedback. As you know that now that you are going to be in kindergarten, it's more of a focus, and we try to give you guys at least 2 spots a week. So HIZ campuses operate with spot observations and coaching in the moment. Tell me about a time where you received constructive feedback on your instruction. How did you respond, and what changes did you make as a result? We're on a scale of 18, from 1 to 18, proficiency starting at a 12.5. Go ahead.
No. Honestly, every feedback that I have gotten from
because you can be as honest as you want to be. That's good for us to know.
To be honest, all the feedback that I have gotten, or even just in the midst of the spot, me like teaching, and I tell myself, I ain't do that. And I already know. So then after when we come together, I can already know. I know what I got. I know what I'm gonna get points missed on because I know I missed it. Or I know I missed a turn to talk, or I know I didn't have an anchor chart up. But I know, but I also I'm good on taking criticism because I want to be better. So everything that comes or is that is said to me, I take it in. I have gotten a little score before.
Okay, how did you feel? And then what did you do to rectify it?
I fell down because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Because in the past 7 years, I ain't never had a bad score a day in my life. So I was in shambles. My world was upside down. So what we did was I came back the next day. I made sure all my lesson plan was done, the printing and stuff down was like, I came back even stronger. And then I actually succeeded. I got another spot and then I did good on it. So I was happy. I redeemed myself.
Okay.
I redeemed. I was happy.
Okay, I'll ask you this. How do you feel that the observations affect the environment of your classroom, and how are you able to keep the kids focused and going into kindergarten? They're going to be a little bit older, not less disciplined, but they're older, right? So how do you prevent them from being distracted with all of the consistency of the visitors in your classroom, and how do you maintain your environment?
Ooh.
You can take a second. Because ultimately we don't want, because we know we are a high observation model type school, I guess that's the way to frame the words. It's important for our teachers to build the capacity within our students to be used to the visitors.
So that's one thing, but I feel like that's something that has to be taught at the beginning of the school year. Like that, and they just know if somebody walk in that door, you are focused on Miss Hall. Nobody's back there. It's me.
Do you have any gestures, chants to get your kids back, attention getters? What are your go-to attention getters to get your kids back
All
to you?
eyes on Miss Hall, crisscross applesauce, hands in loud. All eyes on Miss Hall. And now I do this thing. I just start singing. If you're happy, you know it. Like to just get them back together. They love to sing and dance. Therefore,
Okay, let's talk about family engagement. So family engagement is crucial in kindergarten because that is when we find parents are getting most on board with their students' academics. What systems or routines would you put in place to maintain communication and build trust with your family, especially those whose children are new to formal schooling? Because we have a lot of kids who just skip pre-K and come straight into kindergarten, or go to like a Montessori style pre-K where it's totally different. And then they come to a public school structure kindergarten.
so it's kind of different. But what I do and what I have done in the past is they would take their iReady scores and Amplify scores, and I would print them out. Once we do that testing, every parent has to meet with me one-on-one, and I sit down and I tell them, you need to work on this, this, and this. Then when we take it in the middle of the year, the middle, and I will give them the date, I will tell them, they need to be here. We don't want them to degrade. We want them to keep going. They need to be here. So when they go to first grade, so that's like we pinpoint it. And then I take a score sheet also and I write the number down. Like we know at the beginning of the year, he made this score. So what's
Like
the
goal
goal?
setting. Very
And I make the
awesome.
goal settings not only for the students, but I also make it for the parents.
Okay.
So the parents are like holding their end and, taking them accountability to make sure they do their homework and they're working on them, on their weakest points, because it's not just done in the school. Like I can't do it alone. We have to be a team and making sure we're on the same page. If your parent and you is not on the same page, your kid will not grow to where they can genuinely be.
Okay, tell me about a time where you had a negative interaction with the parent. What was the scenario and how did you handle it? You didn't even have one. And it could be from any
Never.
year of your teaching.
Never.
Okay, so do you think that's a testament to your high level of communication?
Yes, but I feel, honestly, I do feel this year, my communication with my parents have been a little off. Because
Okay.
I'm not used to Parent Square. I'm used to, other sources like Class Dojo.
Yes, okay, so
So
I'm glad that you brought that up. Our district-wide, our communication app has changed. So now we have switched from Class Dojo to a district-wide platform called Parent Square. So Parent Square does have a different feel to it. So I do understand that the gap, right, from last year to this year. But what I'll say this, okay, after you have Parent Square this year, what do you think that you need from the school or admin team to help you with Parent Square or help you increase that level of communication? Or do you think it's more on you? What do you think?
I would say it was just learning the app,
Mhm.
learning how to work the app, and then at that moment, I was just like, okay, I'll just call. If I needed it, I'll just call, because I can't, I don't know, it's just something about me, Class Dojo was way easier, like, you can send out a whole message, like, every parent is in there, you can get every parent in
Mhm.
there, and that's why I feel like this year it's been the parents.
Connection.
The it is off. And
Okay.
some parents I haven't even met.
That's fair. That is fair. Okay, let's move on to our next segment. So you did a really good job. I can tell you really think about the relationships you have. And I feel like you really care about the growth of the student. And that's the framework I want you to have, is the growth mindset, because they also start taking math in kindergarten. So that's an NWAE math, and it's a BOI assessment, an MOI assessment, and an EOI. And the students are given a goal. So I like that you spoke to goal setting with parents and the students so they both can be aware. Now in kindergarten, students have more of an understanding of their goals, so they really can take that accountability for that. So I love that you have that data point in your head. So now I'm going to go into more core instructional and cultural questions, and then we'll close out. So what does the phrase good first instruction mean to you? Describe what it looks and sounds like in your classroom.
Good first instruction.
So before I start that, we're also having DOLs in kindergarten. You guys have some form of exit ticket in pre-K.
Right.
But kindergarten will have a more level. You'll have to have 4 questions. Some of them might be a picture to draw. Some might be a sentence to write. So how are you going to plan for that increase in rigor? And then with that, pair that with good first instruction. So when that 7:45 bell rings and your first kindergarten comes in next year, what does good first instruction mean to you when you have that hour window of instruction? And you can jot down if you need paper, you got them to know.
It will, if you have a good instruction, that means you have a good structure.
Okay, elaborate on that.
So if you have a great structure in your classroom and you are being consistent with your structure and how you want your kids to follow this routine,
Mhm.
which you would have built at the beginning of the year. So if you have all this now, that's how you give good instruction, because if everybody does what they're supposed to do and follow those follow do what they're supposed to do.
Yes.
Do what they're supposed to do, then everything else is going to fall in place. But on your end, you're making sure that your lesson plan is done. You have everything that you need for them to be successful, like your anchor charts. If they need whiteboards, making sure they have that. Nothing to where they will not be unfocused and be focused on you and what you're talking about.
Okay, so I like your good first instruction. And let's talk about the kids who you got a solid first instruction at the 60 minutes was everything. Great. I'm gonna share with you the kindergarten schedule. So this could be potentially how your class schedule would block. And I'm gonna show you the ELA one specifically. So you can see. So I'm gonna move the camera a little closer because I believe we have some cheer practice going on and I don't want it to interfere with our video. We might have to move locations. Okay, so our kindergarten schedule goes like this. We have an hour, the first hour is a literacy block. Then you have an hour of planning from 9 to 10. Then you have your next block of literacy because you're in a 3-way rotation. Then you'll have recess and lunch from 11 to 12. Then you'll have your third block of instruction from 12 to 1. Then you'll teach science or social studies. Then you'll have your early literacy block. So what the early literacy block is where you have your small group rotation for 30 minutes. And then your students, the other 30 minutes, they are doing a digital learning platform. So that's Zearn for math or Amira for RLA. And so then you'll have a 30-minute of intervention time and then 30 minutes of dibbles practice. But that dibbles practice often gets cut short because from 3:30 to 4, and dismissal starts at 3:45. And we like to get kindergarten, pre-K down there first. So really, you only have about maybe 15 minutes for Dibbles practice. So my question is, how you can look at the schedule, looking at the schedule, how do you plan to assist those students who have high academic gaps? How do you want to